Here's a tough question. Why do the rich keep getting richer, while the poor keep struggling just to survive? It's not about luck. It's not even about working harder. In fact, some of the hardest working people in America are still living paycheck to paycheck. The real difference? It's hidden right up here, in the mind. The wealthy play the game of life with a completely different rule book. They think differently, they make decisions differently, and they see opportunities that most people walk right past. And today, I'm going to expose those secrets, not from some boring textbook, but straight from powerful audiobook lessons that will make you stop, think, and honestly, maybe even feel a little uncomfortable. Because here's the truth. If you don't learn this mindset shift, you'll stay stuck where you are. But if you do, you could flip your entire financial future on its head. So if you're tired of watching everyone else win while you feel like you're running in circles, then lean in, because this might just be the wake-up call you've been waiting for. Chapter 1: How the Rich Think About Money. Here's the first shocking truth. Rich people don't work for money. Money works for them. Poor mindset says, I need a paycheck. I need security. I need to hold on to every dollar. Rich mindset says, how can I use this dollar to make 10 more? Think about that difference for a second. A poor mindset looks at $100 and says, this is grocery money. A rich mindset looks at $100 and says, how can I invest this to never worry about groceries again? That's why when you look at people like Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, or even regular everyday millionaires, you notice they're not obsessing over coupons or saving a few bucks on gas. They're obsessing over assets. Assets that pay them back over and over. Now here's where most people get trapped. Growing up, many of us were taught by well-meaning parents, go to school, get a good job, save your money, don't take risks. That's the poor mindset blueprint. But audiobooks like Rich Dad, Poor Dad teach the opposite. Don't just earn, don't just save, invest, create, building. That's the mindset shift. Rich people value cash flow. Poor people value security. Chapter 2: Poor Mindset Traps That Keep You Broke. All right, let's get real for a second. Because if you've ever felt like no matter how hard you work, you're still falling behind, this next part is going to sting a little bit. See, there are these mental traps that poor mindset people fall into. And honestly, it's not their fault. It's conditioning. It's society. But once you see them, you can't unsee them. Trap number one, living for the weekend. Poor mindset says, I hate Mondays. I can't wait for Friday. Let's blow my paycheck on Saturday. Rich mindset says, every day is an opportunity to build the life I don't need a vacation from. Trap number 2, debt mentality. Poor mindset uses credit cards to buy stuff that loses value the second they swipe it. Rich mindset uses credit to buy things that produce income. Big difference, right? One is liability, one is leverage. Trap number 3, fear of risk. Poor mindset thinks failure is the end. Rich mindset knows failure is tuition. It's the price of learning. Think about it. Every successful person you admire, Oprah, Bezos, Jobs, Musk, they've all failed massively. The only difference? They kept swinging. Trap number 4, blame mentality. Poor mindset blames the government, the boss, the economy, their past. Rich mindset says, I can't control the world, but I can control my choices. Chapter 3, habits that build wealth. All right, so we've talked about mindset and the traps that keep people broke. But let's get practical here. What do wealthy people actually do differently every single day? Because at the end of the day, mindset is just the foundation. Habits are the bricks. And trust me, this is where the separation happens. Habit number 1, they track their money. Poor mindset says, I don't want to look at my bank account. It stresses me out. Rich mindset says, every dollar has a job, and I'm the boss. Think about that. Rich people treat money like a soldier. You deploy it. You expect it to bring back reinforcements. Poor people treat money like sand, just slipping through their fingers. Habit number 2, They read and listen constantly. Almost every millionaire you can name is a reader. Audiobooks, nonstop. Why? Because information compounds just like money does. Habit number 3, they automate success. Instead of relying on motivation, they build systems. Automatic investments, set morning routines, scheduled time for thinking and planning. It's not about waking up pumped every day. It's about building a life where success happens on autopilot. Habit number 4, they protect their energy. This one's underrated. Wealthy people guard their attention like it's gold. No endless scrolling, no toxic friends dragging them down. They know energy is currency. Chapter 4, Scarcity versus Abundance. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful mindset shifts out there. Scarcity versus abundance. This one right here is the hidden programming that decides almost everything in your life. Scarcity mindset says, there's never enough. If they win, I lose. I better hold on to what I've got or I'll lose it. Abundance mindset says, there's plenty out there. If they win, that shows me what's possible. The more I give, the more comes back. Here's a real-life example. Let's say 2 people both lose their job. Person A, scarcity mindset. That's it, I'm screwed. I'll never find another one. The economy is bad. Why me? Person B, abundance mindset. Okay, tough break, but now I've got time to start that side hustle. Or maybe this is my chance to finally move into a better career. Same event, different mindset, completely different results, and audiobooks across the board, from the magic of thinking big to think and grow rich. Hammer this truth. Your expectations shape your reality, because when you expect abundance, you start seeing opportunities that were invisible before. Let me give you a quick story. There was this study where 2 groups of people walked down the same street. One group believed they were lucky. The other believed they weren't. Guess what? The lucky group noticed a $20 bill on the sidewalk. The unlucky group walked right past it. Same street, same bill, different mindset. That's how abundance works. It's not magic, it's awareness. Here's the takeaway. Scarcity keeps you small. Abundance expands your possibilities. Now I want you to do something right now. Pause for just a second and ask yourself, where am I thinking scarcity and where can I flip it to abundance? Because the moment you do that, you stop playing defense and you start playing offense in life. Chapter 5, Risk, Failure, and the Rich Mentality. Okay, let's talk about the word that scares most people more than anything else. Failure. See, here's the thing. Poor mindset sees failure as the end of the road. Rich mindset, they see failure as part of the process. Now, if you're in America, you've probably heard the phrase, fail fast, fail forward. That's not just some motivational poster. It's literally how entrepreneurs, millionaires, and game changers operate. Here's the shocking truth. Every wealthy person you admire has a resume full of failure. Steve Jobs, fired from the company he founded. Oprah, fired from her first job in TV. Her boss literally told her she wasn't fit for television. Jeff Bezos lost billions of dollars in failed Amazon projects before the company exploded. And you know what? They didn't stop. They didn't crawl into a corner and quit. They said, Ray, cool. Lesson learned? Next play. That's the difference. Poor mindset says, I tried, I failed. I guess I'm not cut out for this. Rich mindset says, I tried, I failed. Now I'm smarter. Let's go again. Now let me break this down with an audiobook lesson that always sticks with me. In The Lean Startup by Eric Ries, he explains that failure isn't a dead end. It's data. Think about that. If you touch a hot stove, you don't say, I'll never enter the kitchen again. You say, okay, don't touch the stove next time. But with money and success, most people get burned once and they run away forever. Rich mentality, they go back, they adjust, they keep cooking. Let me give you a personal example. Imagine 2 people both start a business. One loses $5,000 and quits forever. The other loses $5,000 and says, well, now I know what doesn't work. Guess who gets rich eventually? Now here's a fun fact. Studies show the average millionaire in the US has gone bankrupt at least once, some multiple times. But instead of letting that failure define them, they used it as rocket fuel. And that's exactly what audiobook after audiobook teaches. Rich Dad, Poor Dad says, the more you fail, the closer you get to success. Think and Grow. Rich says, every adversity carries the seed of an equal or greater benefit. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone says, if you're not failing, you're not taking big enough swings. Here's a quick challenge for you. Think back to your last failure. Job you didn't get, business idea that tanked, maybe even a relationship. Now, instead of asking, why me? Ask, what did this teach me? What skill, what strength, what lesson did I just gain? That's how you reprogram your brain from fear to growth. Because Rich Mindset knows failure is tuition. You pay the price, but you also get the education. Chapter 6, The Psychology of Success. All right, let's get real for a second. If money was only about numbers, then the person with the best calculator would be the richest in the room. But that's not how it works, right? Because success is way more psychological than mathematical. In fact, studies show that wealth, career, and life success are 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. That means how you think, how you see yourself, and how you handle challenges matters way more than what stock you pick or what job you land. So let's break this down, because once you master the psychology of success, everything else starts falling into place. Belief is the foundation. Let's start with the big one, belief. You've heard the saying, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. That wasn't just a motivational quote Henry Ford threw around. It's truth. Poor mindset says, I'm not smart enough. I don't have connections. I wasn't born rich. I'll never get ahead. Rich mindset says, I may not know it yet, but I can figure it out. I'll learn, I'll fail, I'll adapt, but I'll make it happen. See the difference? One kills dreams before they even start. The other breathes life into possibilities. Confidence is a muscle. Now let me tell you something most people don't realize. Confidence is built, not born. Every successful American you admire, Oprah, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, even Michael Jordan, wasn't born with unshakable confidence. They built it like a muscle. Poor mindset waits until they feel confident to take action. Rich mindset takes action, then becomes confident by proving to themselves they can do it. It's not confidence first, action second. It's action first, confidence follows. Persistence beats talent. I don't care how talented you are. If you quit after the first roadblock, you'll never win. Persistence is the great equalizer. Think about Thomas Edison. Dude failed over 10,000 times trying to invent the light bulb. Reporters mocked him, called him crazy. You know what he said? I didn't fail 10,000 times. I discovered 10,000 ways that don't work. That's rich mindset. Persistence until success is inevitable. Meanwhile, poor mindset tries something once, hits resistance and says, see, I knew it wouldn't work. That's not failure. That's quitting. Visualization, the mental rehearsal. Here's a tool wealthy and successful people swear by. Visualization. Olympic athletes use it before every event. High-performing CEOs use it before big decisions. It's basically mental rehearsal. Poor mindset uses imagination to worry about worst-case scenarios. Rich mindset uses imagination to create best-case scenarios. And science backs this up. When you vividly imagine yourself succeeding, your brain fires the same neurons as if you were actually doing it. You're literally rewiring your brain to expect success. Quick story, Jim Carrey, when he was broke and unknown, wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered and dated it 10 years in the future. He carried it in his wallet and visualized cashing it every day. Guess what? By 1995, he got paid exactly $10 million for his role in Dumb and Dumber. That's not luck. That's mindset. The circle of influence. Here's another psychological hack. The people around you. Poor mindset surrounds itself with complainers, doubters, and people who say, be realistic. Rich mindset surrounds itself with dreamers, doers, and people who make you think bigger. Because here's the truth. Your environment will beat your willpower every time. You can't plant a seed in toxic soil and expect it to grow. How to apply the psychology of success. So let's get practical. 1. Affirm daily, rewire your beliefs. Speak what you want until your brain accepts it. 2. Take action. First, build confidence through action, not waiting. 3. Reframe failure. Failure isn't final, it's feedback. 4. Visualize daily. Spend 5 minutes every morning seeing yourself already successful. 5. Upgrade your circle. Audit your environment. Who around you lifts you up? Who drags you down? Here's the bottom line. Poor mindset lives in fear. Rich mindset lives in faith. Fear says, what if I fail? Faith says, what if I succeed? And let me tell you something. Your future is determined by which of those voices you listen to. Quick challenge. Tonight before you go to sleep, I want you to close your eyes and picture yourself 10 years from now, living the life you want with the wealth, the freedom, the health, the happiness. Hold that vision, because once your brain accepts it, your actions will start aligning with it. Chapter 7, Relationships, Networking, and Influence. Okay, let's talk about something most people underestimate when it comes to building wealth. Relationships. You can have all the knowledge in the world, you can grind 80 hours a week, you can save every penny, but if you don't know how to connect, collaborate, and influence people, you're going to hit a ceiling. See, poor mindset thinks success is a solo mission. Rich mindset knows success is a team sport. The power of who you know. You've heard the saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Now let's be clear, you still need skills. But here's the kicker. Opportunities flow through people. Jobs, partnerships, investments, collaborations. Every breakthrough you'll ever have is going to come through another person. Poor mindset isolates, says things like, I don't need anybody. Rich mindset builds bridges, says, who can I learn from? Who can I partner with? Who can open the next door? Influence versus intimidation. Let's break down influence for a second. Poor mindset tries to intimidate people. Talk louder, brag, flex. Rich mindset influences people. Listens, understands, adds value. One pushes people away, the other pulls people closer. Here's the golden rule of influence. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Real-world example. Dale Carnegie. Ever heard of Dale Carnegie's classic audiobook, How to Win Friends and Influence People? That book has made more millionaires than any get-rich-quick scheme out there. Why? Because it teaches simple truths. Period. Smile more. Use people's names. Listen twice as much as you talk. Make the other person feel important. Sounds basic, right? But it's powerful. Because human beings are wired to respond to connection, not arrogance. Networking the smart way. Now, when I say networking, I don't mean passing out business cards like candy at a parade. Real networking is about planting seeds. It's about long-term relationships, not quick wins. Poor mindset goes to a networking event thinking, what can I get from this person? Rich mindset goes thinking, what can I give? How can I help? How can I add value? That one shift will change your whole game. Quick story. When Warren Buffett was starting out, he didn't chase people asking for favors. He studied them, learned from them, and then offered value where he could. Over time, he built a network of mentors and partners that multiplied his wealth. The man wasn't just investing in stocks, he was investing in people. Collaboration over competition. Poor mindset thinks life is a zero-sum game. If you win, I lose. Rich mindset knows life is abundant. If you win, I win too. That's why wealthy people form masterminds, partnerships, and joint ventures. They're not hoarding opportunities, they're multiplying them. How to apply this in your life? Let's get practical. How do you build relationships, networking, and influence like the rich? 1. Listen more than you talk. People will tell you exactly how to influence them if you just shut up and listen. 2. Add value first. Ask yourself, how can I make this person's life easier? 3. Follow up. Don't let connections die. A quick message, a check-in, a thank you note goes a long way. 4. Upgrade your network. Start surrounding yourself with people who are where you want to be. 5. Be authentic. Nobody likes a fake networker. Be real, be curious, be you. Poor mindset burns bridges. Rich mindset builds them. And the more bridges you build, the more paths you create to opportunities you never even imagined. Chapter 8, Legacy. Thinking versus survival thinking. All right, let's get real for a second. Most people in America are stuck in what I call survival mode. They wake up every morning thinking about one thing. How do I pay the bills this month? That's survival thinking. It's paycheck to paycheck. It's constantly putting out financial fires. It's never having enough breathing room to dream bigger. Now compare that with the wealthy. The rich don't just think about this month, they think about the next decade. They think about their kids, their grandkids, even their great-grandkids. That's legacy thinking. Survival thinking versus legacy thinking. Let's paint the contrast. Survival thinking sounds like, I just need to get through the week. As long as I can make rent, I'm okay. Retirement? I'll worry about that later. Legacy thinking sounds like, how can I make sure my kids never struggle like I did? What assets am I building that'll last 100 years? How do I create a name, a brand, a reputation that outlives me? See the difference? One is about today, the other is about forever. The Rockefeller mindset. Let me drop a quick story. John D. Rockefeller, the oil tycoon, one of the richest Americans in history, wasn't just obsessed with money. He was obsessed with impact. He built systems, foundations, and endowments that are still funding hospitals, schools, and research today, nearly a century after his death. That's legacy. Meanwhile, most people today are spending money on fast food, flashy sneakers, and the latest iPhone upgrade, while their savings account has $12 in it. That's survival. Why most people stay stuck. Here's the hard truth. Survival thinking is comfortable because it feels urgent. It's all about immediate problems, so you don't have to face the bigger picture. But rich mindset forces itself to zoom out, to ask, what will my life look like in 10 years if I keep living this way? What will my family's life look like? That's a scary question, but it's the one that changes everything. Legacy thinking in action. Okay, so how do you shift from survival to legacy thinking? Here's the blueprint. 1. Start building assets, not just income. A job pays you today. Assets, like investments, real estate, businesses, pay you for decades. 2. Think generationally. Poor mindset says, I hope my kids get scholarships. Rich mindset says, I'll create a fund so my kids and grandkids can go to college. 3. Document and pass down wisdom. Don't just pass down money, pass down knowledge, pass down values. Teach your kids about money instead of letting them learn the hard way. 4. Create impact. Legacy isn't only about family, it's about community. Ask yourself, how will the world remember me? What did I build that helped others? The American Trap. Living for now. Look, our culture pushes survival, thinking hard. Ads tell you to treat yourself. Banks push you into debt. And social media makes you feel behind if you don't flex. But here's the thing. Rich people delay gratification because they're not playing a 30-day game. They're playing a 30-year game. Poor mindset says, YOLO, I only live once. Rich mindset says, I only live once, so I better make it count. For me, my family, and everyone who comes after me. Survival thinking is about scraping by. Legacy thinking is about planting trees you may never sit under, but your kids will. Listen, most people will die with nothing to their name except bills and regrets. But you don't have to be most people. You can build something that lasts. That's the rich mindset. That's legacy. Chapter 9, Case Studies. Real people who shifted from poor to rich mindset. All right, We've been talking about principles, mindset shifts, habits, but let's be honest, sometimes it's hard to believe until you actually see it in action. So in this chapter, I want to share a few real-life case studies. These aren't billionaires with trust funds. These are ordinary people, people like you and me, who completely flip their lives by changing one thing, their mindset. Case study number 1, the broke college kid who built wealth. Let's start with Chris from Ohio. Back in college, Chris was like most students, living on ramen noodles, working part-time at a coffee shop, buried in debt. He had what we call a scarcity mindset. He'd say things like, "I'll never get ahead. I'm stuck with these loans forever. People like me just don't get rich." But one day he picked up an audiobook, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and one line stuck with him: "The poor work for money. The rich make money work for them." That hit him like a punch in the gut. So Chris made a small shift. Instead of spending every extra dollar, he started saving and investing. Tiny amounts like $25 a month. He took online courses, learned about stocks, real estate, and side hustles. Fast forward 10 years, Chris owns 3 rental properties, is debt-free, and makes more money in passive income than his old full-time job. Why? Not because he won the lottery, not because he had rich parents, because he flipped his mindset. Case study number 2, the single mom who refused to settle now. Let's talk about Angela from Texas. Angela was a single mom working 2 jobs, waitressing by day, cleaning offices by night. She barely had time to sleep, let alone dream. Her mindset was pure survival. As long as my kids eat, I'm okay. One night, exhausted, she stumbled across an audiobook, The Magic of Thinking Big. That book taught her a powerful truth. You don't get what you wish for. You get what you believe you deserve. So Angela started to believe she deserved better. She began listening to motivational audiobooks on her bus rides. She started a small online side hustle, selling handmade jewelry on Etsy. At first, she made $50 a month, then $500, then $5,000. Eventually, Angela quit her cleaning job. Now her jewelry business supports her family and she employs other single moms, giving them opportunities she never had. All from one mindset shift: I deserve more. Case study number 3, the retired veteran who started over. And here's one that might shock you. Michael, a retired Army veteran from California, came home after years of service and felt completely lost. He was living off his pension, but money was tight. He thought his best years were behind him. But Michael came across the audiobook Think and Grow Rich. Something clicked. He realized he had leadership skills, discipline, and experience that were valuable. So instead of sitting around, he launched a small consulting business helping young entrepreneurs with leadership training. At 55 years old, he became a business owner for the first time. Today, Michael makes 6 figures a year, not because he's some Silicon Valley genius, but because he stopped saying, "I'm too old," and started saying, "Why not me?" What do these stories have in common? Different people, different states, different ages, same result. They all replaced the poor mindset with the rich mindset. They all took small steps. They all let audiobooks reprogram how they thought about money, success, and themselves. And if they can do it, what's stopping you? Here's the truth. Mindset shifts aren't just theory. They're real and they change real lives. And now it's your turn. Chapter 10, your 30-day mindset challenge. All right, here's the big one. We've been talking about mindset shifts, habits, and real-life stories, but now it's time to put it into action. Because listening is great, but if you don't apply what you learn, nothing changes. So here's what I want to give you: a simple but powerful 30-day mindset challenge. If you commit to this, I promise, it'll change the way you see money, success, and your own potential. You ready? Let's break it down. Week 1, reprogramming your thoughts. Day 1 to 3. Every morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude shifts you from scarcity to abundance. Day 4 to 5. Write down your top 3 limiting beliefs about money. For example, I'll never be rich. Then flip them into empowering beliefs. I'm capable of building wealth. Read them out loud daily. Day 6 to 7. Listen to 20 minutes of a motivational audiobook every day. Doesn't matter if it's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, Atomic Habits. Just get those words into your mind. Think of this first week as cleaning out the mental junk food and replacing it with mental protein. Week 2, building rich habits. Days 8 to 9. Track every dollar you spend. Awareness is power. You can't change what you don't measure. Day 10 to 11. Start a wealth journal. Write down one big goal like, I want to save $1,000, and track your progress daily. Days 12 to 14. Practice the 1-hour rule. Dedicate at least 1 hour a day to personal growth, reading, skill building, or side hustle work. This is where you stop living on autopilot and start steering your own life. Week 3, expanding your environment. Day 15 to 16. Cut out one negative influence. That could mean less time with a toxic friend or less scrolling through negative social media. Day 17 to 18. Replace that with positive influence. Join an online group, a community, or follow people who inspire and educate. Days 19 to 21. Find an accountability partner. Share your goals with someone who will push you, not pity you. Your environment shapes your success more than you realize. Birds of a feather really do flock together. Week 4, taking bold action. Day 22 to 23. Start a small money habit. Invest $5, sell something you don't use, or start a side hustle. Doesn't have to be huge, just get momentum. Day 24 to 25. Face one fear. Maybe it's calling someone for an opportunity, posting your first video, or asking for a raise. Rich mindsets lean into fear instead of running from it. Days 26 to 27. Visualize your future. Every morning, close your eyes for 5 minutes and picture the life you want. Your dream home, your bank account, your freedom. Day 28 to 30. Reflect. Journal about how you've changed, what you've learned, and what your next big move is. The rich mindset isn't built in a day, it's built daily. Wrapping up the challenge. So there you have it, 30 days. Just 30 days to shift your thinking, your habits, and your future. It's not complicated, it's not expensive, and it's absolutely life-changing if you stick with it. Remember this, the difference between rich and poor isn't luck, it's mindset, and you have the power to change yours, starting today. Let me leave you with this. There are two kinds of people in the world, the ones who hear lessons, nod their head, and then go right back to their old habits. And then there are the few, the rare, the unstoppable, who take what they've learned and flip the script on their entire life. Which one are you going to be? Because right now you're standing at a fork in the road. On one side, same paycheck, same struggles, same excuses. On the other, growth, freedom, and the life you've been dreaming about. And the only thing standing between those two paths is your mindset. Now listen, if you made it this far into this video, you're already proving you're not average. Average people don't sit through hours of self-improvement. Average people don't challenge their beliefs, but you did. That means you're already part of the 1%. The question is, will you keep going? So here's what I want you to do. Type, I refuse to be average in the comments right now. Plant your flag. Make it real. And if you're ready to keep building this mindset with me, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell. Because this is just the warm-up. The next videos, they're going to take your brain, your habits, and your results to a whole new level. Never forget this. Poor or rich isn't about the money in your wallet. It's about the thoughts in your head. Change your mind and you change your world. This is your moment, your breakthrough, your new chapter. So go out there and start living it. Remember, your voice shapes your future. This is Peakvoice Audio. Subscribe now and let's rise to the peak together. I'll see you in the next one.